We got up to the Mishnah. This meeting is only this week, right?
No, I'd like to continue it.
You'd like to continue it?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounds good to me.
Well, if you want to continue it, I can give you 3 people every night.
So, I can live with that. That's
You live with that? Okay. No, it's good. No, either of it's better for us if there's a meeting here.
Yeah.
Mayim Shiva. This Mayim is 7 days. Ketzad, how they used to do it. Shlocha Shel Zav used to have a golden cup. Machzeka Shlosha Lugim, which would hold 3 lug of water. They would fill up from the Shilach. Yerushalmi Sukkah, they came to the water gate, the original water gate. Toku, they blew shofar. Ola B'Kevis, he went on the ramp upon the small. The one of the rare times you could actually go up and turn to the left as opposed to the right. There were 2 silver buckets there at the bottom of each one of which was a drainage hole. Rabbi Yehuda Meshel Sidor, they were plaster. They looked blackish, meaning silverish, because of the wine which went down them. They had holes, like 2 nostrils. Achas moving, one was thicker, achas medak, and one was thinner. So wine and water poured down would leave simultaneously the drainage area. Ma'aravi, the west one was shamayim of water. Umizrach, and the east one was shalayan of wine. Yerushalmi Sukkah. If you mixed up the holes and put the water in the wine, or shalayim zalamayim, or vice versa, yotza you were yotzer. Even made me log, it was only 1 log, not 3. Menasech, and was called shmona. It was all 8 days, even the Shmini Atzeres. Menasech, and to the person who libated, Omrim lo, they would say, Hadvis yodecha, lift up your hands. Shapamachas nisech al raglov, once he spilled on his feet, for ogmu kol ambes rogim, and they all stone him with their rogim. Okay? Is there a minion?
Yeah.
Waiting for Mr. Brook?
You're ruled out right now?
Right now? Okay.
Is that a good moment for you?
With the Gemara. So we say in the Mishnah that they blew shofar. Why they blew shofar? So Rabbi said, so it's Pumpi B'Dover. Pumpi is the Yerushalmi speak for Pumbi, for the bays, and it means they wanted to make a public spectacle. Yes, Rabbi Menachem Yud Payo said the Rabbi Kiva. Now I'm going to learn this like the Pnei Moshe does, although there aren't other interpretations. Our Mishnah, which holds you 3 lug for Nisuch HaMayim, is our Kiva, the Rabbi Kiva, my Nisuch HaMayim Val Torah. He holds Nisuch HaMayim is explicit in the Torah. Now, the other opinions hold, as we will, that's Aloch Lamosh Misinai. Rabbi Kiva holds Nisuch HaMayim is actually in the Torah because of the discrepancies in the letters, in Niskehem, Nisachea, and Mishpotam. There's an extra mem, an extra yud, and another extra mem. So, you're welcome to join us, Mr. Berenson.
You headed to Daf Yomi?
It's Yerushalmi.
Huh?
Yerushalmi.
Sukkah, huh?
Yerushalmi Sukkah.
Oh, Yerushalmi.
So I think we're going to learn from now on in Beis Tefillah, so you can join us.
What'd you say?
I think for now we're going to learn in Beis Tefillah.
Okay.
Every night after Marav.
I can listen in for a little while.
Okay. Should I get you a Gemara? There's a spare Yerushalmi here.
What?
Did I get you a Gemara? So the Yerushalmi says, the Rabbi Kiva, we know, holds that Nisuch HaMayim is not just the Aloch L'Moshe B'Siyah, but it's actually explicit in Torah because of the Mem Yud Mem. So that's in the extra letters at the end of the various different karbonos, the Pashas Pinchas. So that's why it's 3 lug, corresponding to the Mem Yud Mem. 3 letters, 3 lug. Okay? That's how we learn it out.
So, Rabbi Kiva, it's a series of things. It's not just Nisuch HaMayim, he says. There are a few other things, I think, at the same time. I forgot where.
That they're all Dvar Torah?
Yeah, Umar says these are halach Moshe Sinai, and he jumps in and says, no, there's a pasuk or something.
That's interesting. I remember it.
I can dig it up.
Yeah, dig it up. That would be interesting. So, Talmud, we learned over there, pour water outside the Beis HaMikdash on Yontif, on Sukkos. You do Nusach HaMayim outside Beis HaMikdash, you're chayev. Now, this is allegedly a Bavli, but I forgot it. It's in Zvachim.
Maybe water that was.
The Gemara is going to discuss that. The Gemara is going to discuss that. We're going to discuss that. So I'm Rabbi Yochanan Kol Shitas Rabbi Lezer Kashitas Rabbi Kiva Rabo. This is like that which Rabbi Lezer said that you're chayiv if you libate water outside the Beis Hamikdash. It's obviously going to Rabbi Kiva's Rebbe. Kamod Rabbi Kiva Mar Nisuch Hamayim Dvar Torah. Just like Rabbi Kiva says that Nisuch Hamayim is Doraisa. Okay, Rabbi Lezer Mar Nisuch Hamayim Dvar Torah. So to Rabbi Lezer holds the right. So that's why if you do it outside the Beis Hamikdash, you're chayiv. Ma nafik min beinehon. Now, what's the nafkamina between the following between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Akiva? In other words, there seems, as the Pnei Moshe explains, there seems to be Beshitas means he has a similar approach, but not exactly the same approach. So what's the difference between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Akiva? So it says, the Gemara, I'll tell you. East Tani, there are two different versions in the name Rabbi Lezer. There's some say name Rabbi Lezer that Tzarech Shem Iluyin L'Shem Chag. Like Mr. Berenson said, you have to fill them up for the purpose of Sukkos. East Tani Shem Lezer Eino Tzarech Shul Miluyin L'Shem Chag. Those that say you don't have to fill up the words of Shem Sukkos. Now, Madamar, so actually is the beginning of a question. It says, wait a minute. He who says that do you want to tell me that he who says you have to fill them up for the purpose of Yontev holds the Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Akiva? It's a mitzvah daraisa to do Nisuch Hamayim. So it's a mitzvah daraisa has to be done with special waters. They have to be done l'shem. They have to be drawn from the spring l'shem chag. Right, of course. And he who says that they don't have to be filled up for the purpose of sukkahs, does he hold Rabbi Lezer is kirabanon, meaning that the mitzvah Nisuch Hamayim is only the rabbanon, not the raisa? Leis yochil. Can't say that. To Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan said, Koshit.
According to one of those, the raisa, what about Shabbos? You don't have Nisuch Hamayim with Shabbos.
We're getting there. We're going to speak about that. We're going to get there. Gemara is going to discuss it. So Leis Yochil. Dam Rabbi Yochanan said, Kol Shitas Rabbi Lezer, Kol Shitas Rabbi Kiva Rabo. Rabbi Lezer always followed Rabbi Kiva's Rebbe. Kamod Rabbi Kiva Mar Nisuch Hamayim Dvar Torah. Just like Rabbi Kiva was Nisuch Hamayim Doraisa. Can Rabbi Lezer Amar Nisuch Hamayim Dvar Torah? Also, it's Nisuch Hamayim Doraisa. So it must be that even if it's Doraisa, there's an opinion that it doesn't have to be filled up l'shem chag. In other words, there are two versions named Rabbi Lezer. One is that they have to be filled l'shem chag, and what they don't. One that they don't. But those two opinions do not disagree that Nisuch Hamayim is Doraisa. The question is, however, does that be specifically designated water, as Mr. Branson said before? L'shem chag would also imply that it has to be in a clean shorist, or it could be any water. And in fact, the way we're going to paskin is that it's any water, even though it's Doraisa.
Any water?
Any water.
You spill out
on the Mizbeach. Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, we're going to see it later on.
Well, you said b'chutz. Not the...
No, but this machlokas in Rabbi Lezer was about not lachutz, but also lifnim. Would it has to be nimlo l'shem chag even lifnim or not?
Yeah, but this says if there's Nisuch Hamayim b'chutz.
Yeah.
I thought you said there's a yisur.
Right.
So how is it possible if
there's
no?
So
If it's not designated, it's just say you can take water.
No, that you're right. It definitely has to be. You're both right. It has to definitely be designated waters in order to be over on Nisuch Hamayim b'chutz. But the question is more about Nisuch Hamayim b'fnim. And okay, to do it outside, you have to take specially designated water. But a generic question, a more general question, which the Yerushalmi was asking was, what about Nisuch Hamayim b'fnim? Do you have to actually designate the waters for Nisuch Hamayim b'fnim? Or so then we had a machlokas in Rabbi Eliezer.
But the chod,
Avadi, you have to have it designated before it. That makes sense. And the Yerushalmi is going to say that right now. Manavi Binel, what's the difference in the following two opinions? Rabbi Zira said, who in order to be chayiv nisomai b'chutz, v'ushanisach shlosha lugim ifnim, even more than you people wanted to say. You have to have this big jug, of which you took 3 lug and did it inside, v'shlosha lugim b'chutz. And then he did the next 3 lugin outside. That in order to be chayiv, says Rabbi Zira, you have to have taken 6 lug, of which you already did 3 inside. And then you do the next 3 outside.
How many lugim do
3.
you have to have by Nisach HaMayim?
3.
You have to have 3?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll take the inside of it, but you still...
Right. So that's what makes it designated waters that you over outside. The fact that it's water which you already libated for
I
inside.
gotta understand this. You say there's 3 lugim is required.
Right, for Nisach HaMayim.
So he designated 3 for Nisach HaMayim.
He took 6.
Just a minute. And the 3 he put in the he put on the mizbeach. He took out 3 other lugim of water and he spilled it where? On the mizbeach?
No, outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
Now there's 3 other lugim that he took and spilled outside. He never designated as hegdish.
No, he did.
What?
They did.
He did?
They're in the same keli.
This was all in one keli.
Yeah.
So it's a question maybe of his career. Why not?
They're all Mekudesh B'Kli. That's the bottom line here. This is something which you should be happy with.
What?
You should be happy with this sugya.
If all you require is 3,
Mm-hmm.
and you put in more, that's moisture.
Right.
So I don't know. We have to determine and think about, like, Korban Mincha, you're supposed to have so much, and you have an extra.
Okay. Well, let's look a couple lines further. Is Tani Yesh Lem Shir. There are those who say that it has a shiur. These Tani Ein Lem Shir. And there are those who say it doesn't have a shiur. Now, what does it mean?
It doesn't have a share. It could be anything.
What does it mean?
That answers it.
Right. So what does it mean? Each Tani Hugh says that it has a shiur, holds that it's precisely the shiur. 3 lug, no more, no less. Okay? The other man that has no shiur, doesn't matter. So by them yesh lem shiur is like you said, patur. In other words, the 3 lug, you took 6 lug in a vessel, you put 3 lug on the mizbeach, that's it. Whatever else is left there, yesh spray or ain spray, I don't think that makes a difference. But whatever.
Maybe it would make a difference.
Well, the Yerushalmi is obviously saying it doesn't.
What?
Yerushalmi is obviously saying it doesn't.
Actually silent on that.
Right. Okay, maybe we could bring that in. I'd rather not, but you could. It's a good aura. But the bottom line is that if it has a shiur, so above 3 lug, it's not. Once you pour the 3 lug on his back, any additional water in the vessel it's water, right? It's not Nisach HaMayim water. But if ein lem shiur, so really all 6 lug were suitable to be put on the mizbeach. You take 3 lug, put them outside. That's why you're chayav. Okay. Now you
might say that I don't know if you said that the machlekes could be that you put 6 lugim in this clay showers. It could be the machlekes could be that whether the additional is mekudesh in the clay showers.
right. It could be
Well,
that you say,
even if
I don't know.
Even if
Yeah,
you say
maybe.
that it's only 3.
Yeah.
Because there's a locha.
About Klishar is Makadosh more. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It could be you can learn that way.
Everything is put in the clay shores is with Kurdish.
Mm-hmm. It could be.
That could be another.
Could be a possibility. I agree. Okay, the Yerushalmi continues. When you pour the water or the wine into the holes on top of the mizbeach, they have to be plugged. Now you imagine that the way that they looked was plugged. Well, the way the sheeting used to look, by which the wine and water used to go down on the mizbeach, is that they were like basins. And at the bottom of the basin there was a drainage. So like it would be a cup like this, and on the bottom there was a hole which led down. So they used to stop up this hole when they used to pour the water and the wine in, momentarily.
No, they poured it in two different places.
No, in each one they used to plug it up.
In each one?
Yes.
What was a larger hole?
We're going to discuss that. So says Gemara, my time, why did you do this? Because it says, Kodesh hasech nesech shechor laHashem. It says in the Kodesh you should libate a nesech which looks like shechor. Shechor means something which makes you intoxicated. So it looks intoxicating when you see that in front of you. So that it has to be full. And the Gemara is going to explain it a little better than I'm explaining it later on in a few lines. So in the meantime, the Gemara digresses. Tani Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Hashis, the hole through which the wine and water used to pour, the two separate holes, they went down to the very depths of the earth. My time, what pasuk teaches us this? Vayaz Keu, it says the pasuk in Yeshaya. Vayaz Keu.
What does it? Rabbi
Yehuda Omer. Hashis the hole went very down to the very depths. My time, what pasuk teaches us this? Vayaz Keu, Kodesh Baruch Hu, when he made the base. Well, it's actually.
What's the shadow? That it went all the way down?
Yeah. Vayaz Keu.
How else could it be?
No, it's a machlokas. No. It's not so partial. You'll see. Just a minute. Vayaz Keu.
It won't be.
No.
It wouldn't. If it wouldn't go down, it would remain at that.
Einachanami, you'll see. Just a minute. Vayaz Keu. When the basin was just built, the land was cleared. Hashem surrounded with a fence. He removed the stones from in it, and Rashi said the Korban Eidah says here that he took out the goyim, the stones here are the goyim. He took them out of Eretz Yisrael, and he fenced Eretz Yisrael, took the goyim out. He planted Eretz Yisrael with beautiful vineyards, and this vineyard refers to the Beis Hamikdash. Vayiven Migdol Besocho, and he built a tower in it, and in that tower which is referring to is a Kodesh Kodashim, which was built within the Beis Hamikdash. Zayecho, and there it said the Korban Eidah dashes the rest of the pasuk. It says Bo Yorutz Tzadik v'Nizgov, and that Tzadik v'Nizgov is the Kohen Gadol who would go in, run out. The Yaakov Chatzabo, and he dug a wine press in it. Zeh Mizbeach, that's Mizbeach. The Gam Yaakov, and it says Vigam. What is the Vigam? Zeh Hashis. This is referring to the shis, to the hole. Now Reb Shimon Omer Ma'aser Shamayim Hayu. These sheetim were made in the hands of heaven. Levishu Ma'aser Shamayim. Now, you might say that they're made in the hands of heaven, so they're not finished like a craftsman would finish. It's just the way naturally it occurred. Were they not as beautiful as that which is made by a craftsman? So the pasuk says, I'm going to learn the pasuk the way the Gilead Ephraim learns it. The secrets of your thighs, kimo choloim, made look sick, maise deoma, that which is made by a craftsman. In other words, the secret areas of your thighs were the areas in which the wine would fall and the water would fall so to speak, down the legs of the base of the Mizbeach into the ground.
I understand the question of the Yerushalmi. For sure, if it's made by Shemayim, it would be better.
But the whole world is made by a Kodesh Baruch Hu.
What?
The whole world is made by a Kodesh Baruch Hu.
No, here there's a whole clear where the Beis Hamikdash will be built.
Yeah, but it's not the
or it will be built by the Rebbeinu Shalom.
Yeah.
Built by the Rebbeinu Shalom, for sure it's going to be perfect.
It's not.
What's the shiur?
So you know the answer.
No, I don't know.
No, you do. Ma'aser Shamayim here means that it was a naturally occurring thing,
What?
not that it was built special. Not that the Hava
You
means.
said by Shemayim.
Ma'aser Shamayim means
You?
that was made by nature.
If he show you Ma'aser Shemayim, you're going to hear.
Yeah.
No, I can Ma'aser Yedeoma.
Right. Because it was made, it occurred naturally. It's like a natural formation, which is not as beautiful as one which is crafted by a human being. Okay, but that's who Yerushalmi saying. Chas v'chalila or not chas v'chalila, so you state. What can I tell you? All right. Well, if you get a better explanation, look at Pnei Moshe says like me though. So Tani Amar Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Tzadok. Now Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Tzadok argues. He holds the sheet did not go all the way down. He says, "Lu katan ben ulam mizbeach." There was a trap door between the ulam and the mizbeach, and between the sanctuary and the mizbeach. Achas l'shim rishona, once every 70 years. Hayapirchi kuna yardim. The young Kohanim would go down.
But it did go down.
No, it didn't go all the way down. It was a door. It was a chamber down there.
When it went down, the question how far it went.
It didn't. But the sheet didn't go all the way down the ground. They went into a down into the very depths of the earth. They went through the chamber beneath the mizbeach, and therefore once every 70 years,
The Bavli says this.
I know the Bavli says this. So right, same machlokas.
In the Bavli.
Yes, at the end of the fourth parak of Sukkah. And they'll take it up, the wine up b'kedusha, and korish kigulei dvela. It was coagulated. Good word. Like kigulei dvela, like pressed dates. U'boyim v'sarvis of b'kedusha. They will come and burn in a holy place. Now, why? Just like it was poured in a holy place, they would burn in a holy place. Amar Rebbe said, this is going back to the pasuk of Haseich Nesech Shechor LaHashem. Reishit Fistecho HaTorah. See that the Torah has applied to you Lashon Chi to the Nesachim. Lashon Chiba, a Lashon which indicates being precious, love. Lashon Siva, Lashon of satiation. Lashon Shichus, a Lashon of intoxication. So Bakodesh Haseich Nesech Shechor LaHashem indicates a relationship which has of intensity and conviviality, which is indicated by the wine being there. Rabbi Nachman said, this is not in the Bavli as far as I recall. Mishachara Beis Hamikdash, once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Pasak Yain Korish, there no longer is that delicacy of coagulated wine, which was once a very big delicacy. Upaskos Chuzavana, they no longer have white glass. Maus Chuzavana, what's white glass? There's a lot of white glass. Any clear glass could be called white glass. No. They had choisa miskapelas. They had white glass, which was so fine and so that it could be bent. It was actually malleable in the hand. So we have that nowadays too. It's called plastic. But in the old days, they had actually glass which could be bent. And when the base was destroyed, they lost that special technique. Now they wanted to say. This is difficult. Here I'm going to have to change the gears a little bit. The Shari Torah Eretz Yisrael did it. Does it? They wanted to say, pay attention carefully because it's not going to change the gears. They wanted to say, the thicker one is of water. And the thinner hole is of wine. They wanted to say that because how many lug of water do you spill? 3. How many lug of wine? Only 1. There's only 1 lug of wine in the Sachim. So if that's the case, you need a smaller hole for the wine than for the water.
Wine is thicker than water.
So the Amar Rabbi Yonah, now really it should say me the Amar Rabbi Yonah. Since Rabbi Yonah said b'shem Rabbi Yami, name Rabbi Yami. Now look, I'm going to change this because the way it's written, it doesn't really make sense. The way it's written, the Shari Torah Eretz Yisrael changes it. He says, me the Amar Rabbi Yonah, Shari Torah Eretz Yisrael. It's not on the page. It's a different sefer, separate sefer. Midam Rabbi Yonah, Shari Rabbi Yami, Nekev she'eno mot. It should be Nekev shemotzi mayim, eno motzi yain. A hole which lets water drip out of a vessel does not let wine drip out of a vessel, because wine is thicker. So you need a larger hole to get wine out. And shemotzi yain, a hole which lets wine out, eno motzi shemen, does not take oil out, because oil is even more viscous and thicker than wine. So it needs an even thicker hole. V'shem motzi shemen, and a hole which lets oil out, eno motzi dvash, doesn't let the honey out, because honey is even thicker than oil. So therefore, vafilu teimar chilufin, you could even say that the opposite, that the hole of the water, was actually thinner, was a smaller hole than the hole of the wine.
There's less viscosity.
Right, less viscosity, so the water goes down quicker. So the wall of the hole, even though it was 3 lug, it would still go down faster than the wine. And we want them to go down at the same rate. So therefore the drainage hole for the
wine was really thicker.
Yeah,
they're
much thicker, right?
Nowadays they put
in much water, too much water, yeah, sure. So, the Rabbi Yehuda, now says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says that the whole of the Rabbi Omer Milogi Amenasech Kol Shmoina. Rabbi Yehuda said, of course, that there was a log of each, and therefore Rabbi Yehuda said that the whole of the wine, also held the opposite, that the whole of the wine had to be Menaseh Kol Shmona of waters. He held there's only 1 lug, not 3. So according to him, for Shteitzach, obviously there had to be a much thinner hole for the wine, for the water, than there was for the wine. Okay,
they have the same shiur.
They have the same shiur, and they have to go down at the same rate. Hashem and Lakish bo kumi Rabbi Yochanan. Hashem and Lakish asked Rabbi Yochanan. Hikdiman lezevach mayim. What's halacha if the nisuch hamayim and the nisuch hamayim and yain on sukkahs are done before musaf? The zevach means the zevach hayoim. Or nischam b'layla mayim. What if you did it at night? What's the halacha? Lo nisach yom, if you missed the day, ma'ush nasach hamarki, and make it out the next day. He said, Nishmina minado. Let's hear from here. Dom Rabbi Ela b'shem Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi named Rabbi Yossi, u'nesacheh. It says nesacheh rabim, which means echa nischei mayim, echa nischei yain. The parameters are both the same. Hadamra, this teaches us that hikdim lezeva kosher. I really misspoke before. The question was about nisuch hamayim, and the answer is that since nisuch hamayim and nisuch yain are connected, and we know that Nisuch Hayayin can come before the Korban Musaf, even though you might think the Nesachim can't come before the Korban, right? The Nesachim are attached to the Korban, they should come in after the Korban. No, they can't come before the Korban. And just like the Nisuch Hayayin can come before the Korban, so too the Nisuch Hamayim can come before the Korban.
Let's talk about the Musaf.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were to bring some korbanos before the korban musaf, it's so the question is the korban tomid. After the korban tomid, you should bring it. But the musaf,
right?
There's no. The korban musaf is kosher to kol hayom.
Right, but the nesachim are part of the korban musaf.
Yeah, what?
The nesachim are part of the musaf.
Yeah, well that's.
Right, that's what we're saying, but the evidence, it's not a problem.
Because the korban musaf is kosher kol hayom. Now what about the nesachim? Are they also kosher?
Yes, not nisuch hayayin, and we learn from there to nisuch hamayim. Not just kol hayom, but there's an additional aspect. That's what we're about to learn. Nischem balayla kosher. Nisuch, both Yan and Mayin, it's like Zeivorim. It can even come at night. Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a korban.
It's like Zeivorim. Yeah. It's not like the dam. It's like Zeivorim u'pedorim. Right. Okay? Yeah, the Chatchila do it at night.
Yeah, if you put it on the Mizbeach before night, you can burn all that fat.
No, you can put it on even at night, the Chatchila.
Put it on.
Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go further. Lo nisech hayoim. If you didn't do the nisech today, lo yinasech lamachar. You can't do it tomorrow. Al shem, even though it says it with an aleph, it's supposed to be with an ayin. The carbonator changes it. Al shem over yomo, but over korbono. You missed a day. Over korbono. You missed a day. You missed the korban. Rabbanan marbi mayim umatim miyomim. Now, Rabbanan said that it was a lot. There's more water, 3 lug.
Well, why is it mutter by Laila? Is there a posik?
I don't know. We have to look by Nisuch Hayayin. I don't remember, but we're saying that Nisuch Hayayin is mutter at night, and so to Nisuch Hamayim. I don't remember why Nisuch Hayayin is mutter at night.
Hayayin, you're talking about the
regular. Yeah.
Regular the salt.
Yeah.
By kormincha.
By any korban. Minchosam is came to Barsha Shosni, a portion is in Lyle. So, Yain Kanisko.
That's by kormincha.
By a Musaf.
They brought a kormincha.
Yeah. The Nesachim is part of the Mincha.
What?
The Nesachim is part of the additional Mincha.
Yeah, but the mincha, I don't know if we can bring a mincha at night.
I don't know. The mincha is different. This is part. Yeah, the mincha you don't. But there's no mincha. The mincha has no shirayim which goes on the mizbech. There's nothing parallel to Yivarim of Torah by mincha. But no, that's not parallel to mincha. The sachem is different than a mincha. The mincha, once you put the kometz on the mizbech, there's nothing else that goes on the mizbech. The kometz has to come during the day. The nesachim are not the same thing. All right, so it says where Rabbanan marbi mayim, they say bring more water, 3 lug, umatim b'yomim, but less days, only 7 days. Right? It says you bring more water.
3
lug. 3 lug, more water, more volume.
Not more than 3 lug.
Not more, no. Umatim yomim, but only 7 days. Rabbi Yehuda says less water. Only one lug of water, but Marbi Yomim he does also Shmini Atzeres. He says you have to bring the water also in Shmini Atzeres. Now, going further, look, we had 3 tztokim. We had this come already in Yuma. There are 3 tztokim. One tztoki did on Yom Kippur went lifnai v'lifnim. He did the Torres before he went in. Remember that tztoki? He did 3 tztokim.
3
tztokim.
Tztokim.
Yes.
Who did
bad things.
They spilled on their leg.
Whoa! No, only one of them did. One of them did. There are 3. Listen, one of them went lifnai did the Torres before he entered the Kodesh Kodashim on Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
The other one, when he did the Parah Aduma, he refused to do it until Harev Shemesh. He went to remember, we hold that a Tvul Yom can make Parah Aduma. This Tzedoki went...
They were metamid,
right, but this Tzedoki waited till Harev Shemesh. The other Tzedoki, the last Tzedoki, what he did is, on Yosukis, instead of pouring the water down, poured it on his feet. So the Shaila is, how many Tzedokim does it take to change a light bulb? No. The Shaila is, how many of these people were there? Were there 3 separate people? The same person? Or 2 people? Okay, no, it's not. No, let the Gemara say it. Let the Gemara say it. It's the boy in the member that want those who wanted to say, he the Parah, he the Sukkah, he the Kippurim. They're all three the same guy. Rabbi Simon Lo Amar Kein. Rabbi Simon said it cannot be. He said, Ela O the Parah the Sukkah Chad, either the guy, the Paraduma, and the guy of Sukkot was one guy, Uti Kippurim Chad and the guy of Yom Kippur was another guy. Or the Parah the Kippurim Chad, or the guy Paraduma Yom Kippur was one guy, the Sukkah Chad and the Sukkah was another guy. Now, what's the difference? The one who says, not so many days passed until he died, it was the same guy. First he did Yom Kippur, he went in Lifnai V'Lifnim the wrong way. Then, between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, he did the Paraduma incorrectly. Finally, Sukkot came, he didn't do the Nisan properly, and they killed him. So he was all the same guy. Okay? Just a second. The opinion, the price that says that as he came out of the Kodesh Kodashim, his nose was giving forth worms, and there was an angel's foot which looked like a calf's hoof on his forehead, and he dropped dead on the spot. So it can't be made. He didn't make it till Sukkot, right? So
was the case where they bombarded him with their?
That's this case here. That's this case.
No, that's a different case.
No, that's this case. They bombarded Soy. The guy did Nisuch HaMayim wrong.
What?
That's the guy who did the Nisuch HaMayim wrong.
Yeah. If that's the case.
Yeah.
If we say, like the story over here, that he came in, he was killed sort of unnatural death.
Hit by a car.
But if they
Middle.
they were cycling with the skilla,
Yeah.
after they threw this rigging,
Yeah.
so it's not the one that was killed. It was a different story.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wait, we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
Let him get to it.
So it says, that's commanded Mar O the part of the Sukkah Chad, so it can't all be the same guy, because we have two deaths, one on Yom Kippur, one on Sukkot. So either the guy who did the Paradum was the same guy at Sukkot, and the Kippurim Chad and the guy Yom Kippur was another Tztoki, or the part of the Kippurim Chad, or the guy who did the Paraduma wrong, and Yom Kippur was the same guy, and the Sukkah was another guy. Now, when these episodes happened, Tzof Chalei and Azara, there was a bas coach came out from the walls of the Azara. Tzumikan b'nei Eli. It's interesting, they were Tzedokim, but they were still from the grandchildren of Chofni and Pinchas, the ones who went bad at the times of Eli. Timasan Beis Elokeinu, you defiled the house of our God. Now, Bobayom, when they threw their esrogim at the guy on the Mizbeach, whichever one it was, Stokie number 1 or Stokie number 2, so Nifkim Akern on Mizbeach, the horn of the Mizbeach was damaged. The Nasnu Olav Gusha Melech, and they put on it a block of salt, Shlo Yanira Kapogam, so it shouldn't look damaged. Shukom Mizbeach Shein Lo Karen Misovev, any Mizbeach which doesn't have a horn or a walkabout to walk on it halfway up, the yesod or foundation, Pogamu is damaged and it cannot be used. Now, we get back to a theological question about Yom Kippur. It's nothing to do with Sukkah. Bon Kumir Avo, the Asfari Avo. How could the Malach have killed the Tztoki in the Kodesh Kodashim? That he came out with a Malach's footprint in his forehead. V'oksi does say, Kol Adam lo yeh bo moed b'vol chaper b'kodesh hatzeso. It says no human being should be in the Oel Moed, in the entire Kodesh area, when the Kohen Gadol goes in until he comes out. And we say that we dash not just human beings. Even though it was those about whom it says that their face is like human beings, but the rest of their body is angelic, angels, they too lo yu bo moed b'bol chaper kodesh. They also can't be no moed when the Kohen Gadol comes to atone for in the Kodesh. So if that's the case, how could the Malach come and kill him? Says more, I'm alone. So he said to them, "B'shoshu nichnas kedarko." When the Kohen Gadol goes in the right way, so then he creates a special aura of kedusha. Even the Malachim stay away. But this Kohen Gadol is at Stoki. He went in the wrong way, so the Malachim came and they killed him. Okay. Next Mishnah. Now you asked before about how we did Nisuch HaMayim on Shabbos. We did it the same way we did on weekday. We did it on Shabbos. Shabbos, but used to fill from Erev Shabbos Chavish Shol Zahav, a golden pitcher she'eno mekudeshes, which was not a kli sharis, wasn't holy. Mina shiloach, from the shiloach, a spring. Or menicha b'lishka, you put it in the office in the Beis HaMikdash. Nishbecha nisgausa. Now, in general, not just on Shabbos. What happens if you designate a vessel and it got spilled out or got opened overnight, right? And you know if it gets opened overnight, you can't use it next day because we're afraid a snake drank from it, right? You don't have to have special waters. You can go and just fill it up from the kior. The reason why you can't use the stuff which is from yesterday is because it was left open overnight. It's no longer suitable for the mizbeach.
In the middle of the week, why would you have to pour it special before? Pour it right before Nisuch HaMayim. By Shabbos.
No, you're right. The Megulin problem only happened on Shabbos. But Nishbechu could happen even during the week.
You mean they first spilled they spilled it in from the
Kli, right?
Yeah.
Normally it's Sheina Mekudeshes. Why did they have to put it on Shabbos into a Kli which is not Mekudesh, Afilu Mekudeshes, even if it's a Mekudesh Kli? Located Rabbi Yachim, Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Yachim, Rabbi Chanina, B'Shem Rabbi Yosa, V'kidashta es ha-mizbeach, the Yom Mizbeach Kodesh Kadoshim, sanctified Mizbeach, and only then will the Mizbeach be holy. Ma Mizbeach en Mekadosh Shel Midas, just like you need human intent in order to consecrate the Mizbeach. Have Kalim lo Yikad Shel Midas, so too the Kalim are not Mekadosh unless there was intent to do so. So therefore, put the water in the keli, but say I don't want the kli sharis to be Mekadosh it until the next day. So even though it's overnight in the kli sharis, let it not become possible belina, as most things in the kli sharis do become, because I'll say I don't have intent for the kli sharis to be Mekadosh the next day.
I think there's a Gemara says that Mizbeach Mekadosh Royalo, Shena Royalo, Midas, Shlo Midas.
I don't know if it says Midas and Shlo Midas. You check that out. So in any event, Chizki Amar,
Anything that touches the Mizbeach.
I don't know if that's true, but in any event, here it's by kli sharis it's certainly not the case. So they say it's a gzeira. Chizki Amar Shlo Yu Omrim, it's a Marisayin issue. People shouldn't say Re'inu Mayim Shaha. We see water Shnismal Kiddush Adayim V'Raglayim. We see water which is filled for Kiddush Adayim V'Raglayim Nivsoim Belina. It gets pasul belina, right? Which is in fact the case if you didn't have a kior and you filled up water in a keli. You know the only reason the kior didn't become pasul at night is because the water in basin didn't become pasul because it lowered it into the ground. But otherwise it becomes pasul. Leave it overnight. So people are going to say, "Hey, wait a minute. If that becomes pasul, why doesn't this become pasul?" So it's a Marisayin issue. The base Rabbi Yana Reim Shlo Yomrim Ra'inu Me'achad Nivson Belina. Let's extrapolate from here to Kiddush Adayim V'Raglayim waters. Let's say these waters themselves become pasul. Now Rabbi Yochanan, our bottom line is Mivnei Marisayin. The reason why we don't leave in Kli Sharis overnight is because of Marisayin. V'loyadi, we don't know whether Inka Dod Chizkiah is a Marisayin problem. Is that people might extrapolate to a case of Kiddush Adayim V'Raglayim water like Chizkiah, Inka Dod Rabbi Yana, or like that which Rabbi Yana said, Divrei Akol. Now these words Divrei Akol cause all the Mefarshim problems. What does it mean Divrei Akol? The word Divrei Akol non sequitur. What does Divrei Akol mean? So it could be the way I could now that I look at it, I'm thinking maybe what it should have said Rabbi Yochanan Divrei Akol mipnei Marisayin. It's everybody agrees both Rabbi Yana and Rabbi Chizkiah hold it's a Marisayin problem, right? But that's not what the Mefarshim say. One interpretation is that the Gilion Ephraim brings down that Rabbi Yanai everybody agrees with, because Rabbi Yanai says that that Nisuch water becomes pasul overnight if it's left in a Kli Sharis. That everybody agrees. However, what Rabbi Chizkiah said is not Divrei Kol because their Shita said in fact the kior did not have to be sunk into the ground overnight. That Maim for Kiddush Adayim V'Raglayim does not become pasul belina. So therefore, not everybody would agree to Chizkiah's Marisayin, Because Chizkis Marasayin is predicated on the assumption that we paskin that water of Kior becomes puzzle overnight.
What would happen if people would say that
Yeah.
What kind of kilkel can come out of it?
People think that that you're using puzzle waters.
What?
People think you're using puzzle water for Nitzuch. Yeah, it's good for Elch, I think.
Their market shouldn't be, they won't be using it.
No, but that's exactly what. That's why we didn't put in Kli Shores and say my das is that the Kli Shores shall be Makadish the next day. Because people won't understand that and they'll think it was a Kli Shores overnight and they'll say we're using puzzle waters for Nitzuch HaMayim. And that everybody's going to hold as a psul. But wait, I want to tell you, the Mashbiach, Rabbi Sivitz, he says, Rabbi Sivitz, the rabbi of Pittsburgh, who wrote a parish in Yerushalmi. His name is Rabbi Sivitz. Rabbi Sivitz, he wrote a sefer called the Mashbiach. So Rabbi Sivitz says, this Divrei HaKol is Rashi Tevis. You gotta hand him for creativity. I don't know if it's true.
What's the Rashi Tevis?
First I want to tell you what he points out. It says, before it said the base Rabbi Yanai, right? And here it says Rabbi Yanai, right? So he says this Divrei HaKol was really written on the side of the Gemara by some Sofer or some Talmud. And what he meant to write is a Rashi Tevis. Divrei HaKol stands for the base, Daled base is the base. Reshut is Rabbi Yanai. Then he had the dash. Hachi ksiv le'el. Hey is Hachi. Chaf is ksiv. And Lamed is le'el. So whoever was learning in this Gemara, he saw, before it said the base Rabbi Yanai, and now it's Rabbi Yanai, here it says Rabbi Yanai. So he wrote out, on the side of his Gemara, the base Rabbi Yanai, Hacha ksiv le'el. Here it's Zostu Visit. You should know that even though it says Rabbi Yanai, it's really the base Rabbi Yanai, like it says previously.
That's good to me.
All right. Right, V'das Hashem, let's finish the parak. Right, V'das Hashem, Rabbi Yeshua said, Me'saita nifsan, just a couple more minutes. Me'saita nifsan belina. If you leave waters for a saita overnight, they become possible belina. It's a tremendous chiddush. Mora argues. Rabbi Yaakov Hashem, even though it seems that the Rambam passes this way. Rabbi Yaakov Hashem Ravuna says, Kol she'en mimenu l'mizbeach. Nothing goes to the mizbeach from the sota waters. Who gets the water? The sota, the woman herself. So ein lina posel spoke, he left overnight. Havim boy meimar avar v'hevi. They want to say, what a b'diavad, you brought water which was left open overnight, not a klisharis, but left open overnight. So you brought it, b'diavad, it's okay, kosher. Says Mar no. Tan Rabbi Yeshua derumya, kumi Rabbi Yaina, shamayim v'yayin amagulin. If you leave water or wine overnight, why? Because it's not nice. It's not derech eretz. My timer, what Pasuk teaches us, the seachad min ha'tzon min ha'masayim. When you bring in carbon, it should be one sheep out of every 200. Mimashki Yisrael, from that which is the beverage of Am Yisrael. What does it mean, Mimashki Yisrael, the beverage of Am Yisrael? For that which a human being would drink. And a human being is not going to drink water left overnight. Now, since that's the case, so even if the Kodesh Baruch Hu is not going to be killed by the water from which a snake drank, but since a human being wouldn't drink from it, it's not there to bring it to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Says, okay, fine. Akadun mine. What about yain? Now, water, once a snake drinks from it, there's nothing to do. But wine, if a snake drinks from it, you can pass it through a strainer, and only the wine goes through, and the poison stays on top of the dregs. So maybe a human being can drink wine even after even after it's left open. So maybe you can bring them mizbeach. No, because I'm Rabbi Shubsai Hamisameach Elokim Vanoshim. It says the wine you bring to Hashem has to be wine which makes man and God happy. And even though you might drink the wine, you ain't going to be too happy drinking for it. So therefore you can't bring it together with your purpose.